What's up guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Anarchy Garage.
I'm Slater, this is Shep, and today we're out in Shrewsbury with the Anarchystang.
Right, I'm tonight going to be paying attention to these two doors. Last doors out of the E-Class, finally. So skinning these both down, getting the last of the wiring loom out, and then plugging it back in the Mustang. I have just cutting these off just so I can get the one strip along there, because what I'm going to do tonight is we're working through making a template out of the cardboard down there for the window apertures so that we can repair all of this and get all that strength back in. Not just for the strength, but what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be cutting these gutters off. Bit of an obscure thing to do, but when it's done, it's going to give the car such a smoother, sleeker finish, which is just going to make such a difference to the appearance of the car. So not only is it giving it strength, but it's going to make it look so much better.
Right, so part of the jobs I'm on at the moment, I'm mounting the ABS pump. So I've made some nice brackets and stuff, so I've got it in place now. Obviously the loom and stuff's tucked up there. I'm probably going to do a bit more work and tidy up the inner arch, but my next job is to run the brake lines. And I can tell you now, this is the job I hate most in the world. So I will be sulking and lummoxing around and doing this, but try and get out of the way at the same time. So I'm going to route all of these brake lines back, hook them back to the master cylinder, and hopefully then find a pedal for it. Right, so first kind of, well, I don't want to say hiccup, but it has definitely stalled a couple of things we're doing. So started making the brake pipes and stuff. Now I noticed this straight away, that the ABS to master cylinder pipe was actually a different dimension. Never seen it before. Always used 3/16 pipe, got loads of it, got me flaring tool and everything else. This is actually, let me read this off here. This is 5/16 diameter, and this actually has different ports as well to go into the ABS and the master cylinder. Now, I've really had to shop around for this. I actually even ordered some on eBay, and they phoned me up and said, we don't actually have this in stock because it's such a weird size. Finally managed to find this at actually a local supplier who's posted it out. So I've made the pipes to the right length, and they're actually going to flare these for me tomorrow. So they're going to collect them for me, flare them at their place, and then bring them back as well. But yeah, very unusual. Never seen 5/16 pipe before.
What are you doing?
You're right. I am extending the wiring loom at the moment, so it's a job I've been putting off, but it's moving the fuel pumps from where the back seat would be all the way to the boot, which is where the Mustang wants them to be. Thank God it's only a metre of cable and it's only that bunch of wires, but yeah, I'll be glad when it's done, that's for sure.
So we are back in the garage again. We were here last night until about 2 o'clock in the morning doing a load of work with the wiring loom and the fuse box, which if you're following us on Instagram, Anarchystang, you would have seen all of that on there. So today, what we're going to be doing is just ticking off the last few jobs so we can potentially take this out for its first test drive. So yesterday, what we did is we reconnected the steering column, which is just up here. And unfortunately, what we found was it's just clipping the O2 sensor on the exhaust. So what we're going to do is we're going to blank that off, rebung it, and then reposition the O2 sensor further down the exhaust, so that eradicates that problem. And we've got loads of room for the steering column as well then. So that one's that. Next job on the list is we've had our new custom earth strap made. So that's going to be going onto the side of the gearbox here and then onto the chassis further over here. So that should be quite a nice, easy job, fingers crossed. Next job that we've got is these. So this is the ABS sensors. Now, when we took them out of the E-Class, they were actually routed through the arch liner, which is completely fine on the E-Class, but it's something that we don't really want to be doing. We want it plugged in inside the car, really. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be routing that up through the floor and get them all nicely plugged in, just in case it causes any issues in regards to us changing gear when we're on the test drive. And then, last but not least, which is going to give us everything that we want and what we need, is we're going to get the prop back in. So the prop is actually just sitting out a shot over there. That's been cut down, balanced and strengthened, ready for this. So we're going to get that in.
Well, after beating the chair up because I'm thinking, why aren't these cheap ass eBay runners that I bought, why aren't they moving? I've realised that I actually welded them both ends to the seat. So yeah, that's been about half an hour of madness and getting wound up with it, to be honest. But now I've found out it's welded at both ends, I can fix it.
Right, so yesterday we got the prop connected. I got the ABS lines connected. The rear ones were a bit of a pain, so what I've done is I've cut holes in the floor and run them inside, so all they're completely covered and protected from obviously the crappy weather that we get in this country. What else did we do? We got the gearbox earth reconnected, so that's ready to go. Nice mount made on the prop by Mr. Slater, which is just absolutely brilliant in the back. And then what we ended up doing, which you can see just behind me here, the seats are in. What we actually ended up having to do was build some nice brackets for the runners to sit on. We had to cut a lot out of the bottoms of the seats to make them fit, but they are in, they're nice and comfy, and they still move, which is just an added bonus. It runs. Still.
Right, so it fired up without the main crash sensor in, which we're absolutely chuffed about. So now what we're going to do, turn it off, we're going to bleed the brakes, connect the power steering up, and then tidy up some of that main power lead there. And then, yeah, we've got potential actually going for a test drive. There we go, she's a driver! Woohoo!
Alive!
So yeah, absolutely buzzing from that. It just drives incredible. The brakes are on point, the steering is. The accelerator is a bit twitchy to say the least, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it definitely pulls, let's say that. I mean, you can feel just in that short little blip up the road that we've just done, the car is really, really pissed off about going that slowly. But yeah, you know, in time, we will be able to unleash it properly, which is what it really wants to do.
The sound out of it, though, is just amazing. Like, what you will not pick up on your speakers, whether it's phone, surround sound, whatever, you cannot get them loud enough. The sound is just amazing.
Yeah, the good thing is that what your speakers probably won't pick up is the sound of the 51-year-old car that all this is sat in, which is going to be leading us on to our next job. So we're going to be doing a bit more tidying up, a bit more paneling in here, and get rid of that rattling noise that it seems to be creating and get it nice and strengthened up and safe-ish.
Safe-ish, and then we can go for a proper drive.
Yeah, it's caused some madness.
So what we're doing is going back through the car completely. So we made a bit of a mess just kind of throwing everything in there because we wanted to test the theory and actually drive this thing. So now we can go wire by wire, take it off, get a better route for it, tidy everything up, put grommets in, drill holes and make everything fit. So this is going to run and drive and be ready to go out for a longer test drive. Right, there we go. That's another job ticked off the list. So I've managed to get all of the power, so it's not drooping the lines over this inner arch and down to here anymore. So it's not kind of thrown in. I've managed to drill it through the inner arch, and it's got little rubber grommets around it as well. I've just got to attach this down, but all the wires have actually been shortened, so it's not like a rat's nest anymore as well. Lot tidier, really pleased with the finish. This next job for today is actually the roof gutter on this side, so I'm going to chop it off completely, and then we're going to smooth it as well. Shep's made all the plates for me, which was a massive help, so all I've got to do is kind of tidy this thing up. Right, so here's the lowdown of what we've been up to today so far. So I've managed to actually join from where the fuel tank sits all the way into the floor. So I've made a plate all the way around, welded it all the way together.
Yeah, what we followed up then with was, you might be able to see it just in shot, the air compressor pump for the rear bags. So what we did is we took the original bracket that came on the E-Class.
Which normally sits here, by the way.
Yeah, it's normally over there, but we're going to try and put it there, but it just didn't feel right. So we've moved it into here, which had a lovely little gap for it. So we've done a bit of custom work on the original bracket to make it fit how we wanted it to, and it's even got the original springs that were in the E63 as well, which gives it that little bit of movement, stops any vibration, noise, and everything from that. So absolutely chuffed with the progress we've made today so far. So
yeah, and you may notice as well that he is looking and sounding terrible. So while we've been doing that, he managed to catch a flash off the welder. So he's now experienced for the first time Archi.
Woo! Yeah, so everybody out there who's had Archi, it's like Mike said, it's my first time having it, and I'm not enjoying it so far.
Yeah, so we're sending him home because yeah, he needs to get home. He's got to drive home yet. So as anybody else knows, it gets worse when it gets darker. So we've got to get him out of here before it just gets dark.
Yeah, so Mike's going to carry on without me for the evening, but I'm sure he'll get plenty done in my absence, and hopefully I'll be back here tomorrow.
Right, we've made this new panel to go in replace of the old one. This is basically, we're going to tack weld this in at the bottom here, bring it up, bend it in so it adds some strength to the back of the screen at the bottom. This is to act as a firewall between the back seats and the race tank and the batteries fitted in the rear. Once that's all welded in nice and proper, we're going to then put some dimples in it to give it that race car look.
Right then guys, so it's been a couple of really long days and a hard push on the Anarchystang. We're here until about 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, 2 o'clock. We finally gave in.
Yeah, thought that was the end of that. So we were back in early doors again, probably 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We were straight back in here again, doing more of the stuff that we needed to get done. But yeah, really good progress. So.
And having our ramp repaired as well, which is a massive help because it was banging and clattering and stuff. So yeah, we have had our friend over here who's actually repaired the ramp for us, which was getting dangerous. So we really did need it doing.
Yeah, danger we like, but not when something's potentially going to fall on your head.
Yeah.
So
bits that we have got done. Obviously, we've done all of the rear panel. The rear panel was banging and rattling when we went through our initial test drive that we showed you earlier. It was just not right. We didn't realise how much strength we were quite going to need in the back, or at least how many weak points we'd still got.
Yeah, so I jumped on that pretty quickly and built a new template for the rear, and then Slater's cracked on and got all that smashed in while I've been carrying on making some more plating. It's given us so much more strength into the rear. It's just unreal. So
yeah. So then we've wrapped the wiring loom and we've finally moved the fuse box officially to the rear of the car. So we had to obviously unplug everything and then feed it through little grommets and holes which we've made as well, which absolutely brilliant. And then obviously we've plugged it into the fuse box, which we are chuffed with.
Yeah, move the battery as well.
Move the battery, yeah, the battery's now in the boot as well, which is really good.
Yeah, so it's 2 batteries in the boot now.
Yeah,
but everything's a lot nicer now, isn't it? It's very white. So.
That's it. Right, so final list. We're trying to work out what we're actually going to be doing on this. We know there isn't a lot to do, but we keep doing everything.
Yeah, we're extremely good at digressing onto doing everything as opposed to focusing on the key jobs that's going to give us the ability to completely take this thing out and unleash it on everybody. So, you know, we're going to do a quick list and we're going to run through and make sure we can just get those key jobs done to get it out. So,
oh look, that needs doing. Right, so quick rundown at the front. We need to put the fan in. So fan needs to go in. Cooler, so we need the cooler mounted down the front as well. It's kind of flapping around a little bit. It's on the original mount. Needs a bracket making around it. Oh, brake servo. ECU part lines. Well, let's put those in sensibly rather than coming through our very jagged hole here. So that needs doing as well. Brakes are all good on. Oil system, water's all bled, so that's all done. Oh, cross mounts in the back need doing. Cross mounts underneath the floor. So the E-Class actually came with cross mounts, and if we mount those underneath, it's obviously going to make the car more rigid and better to drive. So that needs doing.
and a little bit safer.
Gay. Battery. We need to mount the battery in the boots, so that needs doing as well.
Yeah, battery case.
My God, we've only got 5. Oh, doors. We need to put door locks in. You may notice in the previous clip of us actually driving this that we're holding the doors closed. Well, he is, I'm not. Yeah, mine's cable ties shut, so it's really safe. Brake lights. We need brake lights to take it out. The only requirement this car needs at the minute is brake lights on the rear to go out as a daytime car. We're actually allowed to wave our arms for indicators on this, which is ace. What else do we need? Exhaust cool, that's done. I know there's more to this list. I feel really unsafe with this.
I'm going to do the
rear corners. Another thing we noticed, there's still a little bang in the back of the rear quarters. So what we found is there's a little bit of metal. It's got a bit of rust in it, and it's just broken away, and it's just rattling a little bit. It's not that bad, but it needs sorting.
That's 9.
We can get to 10. I know we can do 10.
Surely. The drop all the fluid out of the gearbox.
Oh yeah, bleed the gearbox up. So when I drained all the fluids when we originally took this out, and I've put fluids back in it. But this gearbox needs running up at 25 degrees and also at 80 degrees. But because we haven't put a fan in, we can't control the heat enough to get it to go to 80 degrees and drive it around. So we need to actually get the level right. 10.
One more.
We could do 10, surely. That's got to be the magic number which says this car is completely safe.
Kind of.
Feels like we're missing. Oh, fuel.
Fuel.
Yeah.
Yes, we need fuel.
So fuel line, we need to reroute very slightly because it's a little bit tight. It's borderline putting a kink in the line, and we actually need to put petrol in this. This is still running on the original gallon that we put in it when I first started, that I stole from the mower. So we need to go and actually get a proper fuel level in this because there's just not enough to run it or drive it anywhere.
It's not going to go anywhere without any fuel.
So is that it?
That's 10.
That's 10. That is our list.
Woohoo!
After that, this car is officially safe.
Well, going out.
How's your evening going?
Swimmingly. Literally swimming in fluid out of the rad. Because I've taken all that out to get the fan back in. Just trimming this down to get the expansion tank where I moved it over. Reconnecting all the pipes in. But we have a fan, so hopefully it won't overheat. I hate these clips. Why don't they just make them better? Woo! Did it. Oh. Do you want to see how easy it should be? Done.
We've been refilling the expansion tanks with coolant after we drained it out earlier on today, so she's all ready to go. Right, all sorted.
Yeah, boys, don't have to
Nearly choked that as well. Always keep yourself energised with the big floppy one.
Right, so this is the final, hopefully, the final bit of wiring extension that we're going to do. So this is actually for the fan. So I've had to extend it, I think it worked out about 80 centimetres. I've sealed it all the way down, I'm just fabric taping it as well. So as soon as this is done, I can plug it into the fan. And that is another job off our list for tonight.
You got a set square anywhere, you boys?
A set square.
I'm sure it's 90 degrees.
It'll be alright. We're going to put the battery in it and then I'm going to weld it. I'll weld it with the battery.
Yeah.
Look at this, beautiful. Look at that. New battery tray that is, boys.
Right, beautifully designed.
Beautifully designed by Mr. Shepherd there.
What I've done in here is obviously the new battery casing is going to go here. So I've made that bracket for that to sit on there. Just going to now put this in the base with a nice little rubber spacer in there to keep that nice and level and off the floor. And it gives us plenty of room for the battery then.
Yeah.
What?
It won't go in.
Right now I cannot get the fan to plug in. I've had to extend all the wires down, great, everything's all set to go, and for whatever reason, well, I know why, the radiator is actually back maybe half a centimetre, but that half a centimetre at the top is about an inch, and I cannot get my hand in there to plug the fan in. It's been a pain in the arse.
Is that working?
Fucking man.
The door's shut.
If I stood that door for
Yeah, just magic, innit?
you're on that all night.
Threw it back in and it went.
Outrageous. I thought you used to work quick then.
Can't open it now. Oh! Look at that, eh?
You little face. Like a job in the town.
That's it, beautiful.
Just got a line out.
Just got to get some gaps now.
What's it been doing all night?
I don't know.
Yeah, the term I've been here is all night.
All night.
All night.
All night for a bolt that Shep put in about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, come on.
Wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
It's a bit of a rundown. So we've been nailing the list tonight. So we've had a big help out from my dad as well, who's lined all of the doors up for us. He's obviously got much more patience and much more skill than we have for things like this.
By a long shot.
So we're each going to cross out things we've done on the list. So I've been attacking the fan. I've had to extend all the wires to it. It's been a bit of a pain in the arse. We've managed to get it in, and then Mr. Shepherd's helped me out with his really tiny little hands. By the way, that's why his penis looks massive on film. So I'm going to cross out fans for these. So what have you boys been up to?
What have we done then, Rich?
Well, we've been modifying the battery carrier and
Battery
making
case.
that a bit of a dream. That's nearly in now. We just got to get some bolts tomorrow and paint her up and strap it in. That'll be done.
Yeah.
So
I've also made another bracket for the air tag for the rear suspension, so that's nicely moved in and back in situ in a bit of a better place than it was originally as well. So we've smashed that one off. It wasn't on the list, but if it was, we'd be crossing that off as well. So slightly digressed, even though we did the list to stop us doing that.
Yeah.
But it needed to be done. So happy days, that one's done. We can cross off the doors. As Slater said, we've got the senior Slater over here who's done the doors for us. We've crossed that one off as well. Well done, Tim.
Thank you.
So that doesn't leave us too much left on this, the rest of the stuff that's on there is for getting it back in the air. So we're going to be smashing onto that tomorrow.
Yeah, so we the way we've done it, we've actually done all of the jobs while it's down on the ground. The rest of it, it's got to go up in the air, but we can actually cross off fuel, lead gearbox, brake booster, ECU, and the under braces all in one go when it's back in the air as well. Morning! So last night was a real late one, or this morning, because we finished at 2 o'clock. It was really good though, we got loads of work done. Thank you to my neighbours for not complaining as well, because we were grinding and banging until late. Thanks, lad! Then the stupid bit of it was we decided to then stay until 3 o'clock in the morning to cut and edit footage, which was really stupid.
Yeah, but something that needed to be done, and luckily I've turned up this morning with the cure to get the energy levels pumping, so we can get the list finished, get the car up in the air, and just smash out everything that we need to get done. So
this is the final run now, the final little bit, and we are, well, going for a drive.
Yeah, let's get on it. Right, so what I've done here is we've taken these two braces off the E-Class. I've cut away the chassis just slightly on there. We've got them mounted into the subframes into the rear. Nice triangulation and cross member through here. So I've just got to make the mounting points into the floor. We've got loads of strength with that, and it looks absolutely banging, so well happy. This is what I've been building today. So what we actually found out was this fuse box has its own cooling fan. So I've re-engineered the bracket and everything. So we've still got the cooling fan, nice bit of distance in that will actually cool the entire fuse box. And then if you have a look in here, so I've just run a couple of bolts through the floor there and there, which obviously that will connect to the bottom of the now fuse box bracket. Another one in there, so we've got nice access, it's nice and clear, keeps everything nice and neat for us, and we can get it in and out as and where we need to.
Right, so last few jobs I've been doing as well, we're going to cross these off the list in just a moment. I've actually mounted this cooler. So all I've had to do is make a single bracket coming down to it. I've managed to actually, I can't even believe this, use the original mounts off the chassis leg, and it joins onto the subframe at the bottom here. So I've been able to use the original mounts on the inside. Where we've got rid of this, I've just had to make one frame. So it's got a little bit of movement, but that's actually how it would have been on factory on the E-Class as well. But then, coming up to the engine, this is the first time we've ever had no wires draped all over the side on the engine. It's normally been draped over the bulkhead, draped over the wings and stuff. That, you can see how clean it is right now, is a running engine. So everything is hidden and done away. There are 2 or 3 more pipes we've got to do, but you can see just how good that looks, and we're absolutely chuffed with that.